Is Until You Die worth getting? Let's talk about that after we read the description of the game. Until We Die is a side-scrolling strategy game about defending your base where you have to run around as Ivan, assign tasks to people, and fight mutants in a post-apocalyptic subway. One thing that does not make sense in the description is it says run around with Ivan, but there's actually two characters, Ivan and Anna. So it should just say run around back and forth because that's what you're going to be doing for most of this game. In Until We Die, you have to survive from 25 to 28 days, basically a month. Depending on what difficulty you play on, it changes the amount of days that you have to survive. For the first 6 days, you fight small groups of monsters, and pretty much on any day between. But on the 7th day, you fight your first big horde of monsters, and it's kind of like 7 days to die. Every certain amount of days, there's just like a big horde of monsters that you have to fight. You'll have to expand your base and build as many walls as possible and upgrade them because walls seem to get destroyed very easily. Even when upgraded, they just seem to be like a couple hits and then boom, you don't have a wall no more and you're running back to the next wall that you know won't even hold up for like a few hits, and then you gotta go back to your next wall and just so on and so forth. You're just constantly having to build more walls and repair your walls. There's a bunch of different buildings that do different things, like certain buildings increase your population cap. The science machine is used to get upgrades, and there are different stations that you have to use one of your people to run the station, and then that station can produce shovels or blowtorches to create diggers or engineers. In this game, you'll constantly be running back and forth. Technically, you'll be constantly running left and right, but it's back and forth. Doesn't matter because you're going to be constantly running around in this game. Just go to the left, then you gotta go to the right, and then you gotta go to the left, and then you gotta go back to the right, and it gets tedious, especially when your sprint is constantly running out and you have to recharge it at the like little barrels of fire, and that just gets tedious and annoying because you're just gonna have to constantly run back and forth, but most of the time you might not even be able to run because you're running out of stamina, and that just gets a little annoying. You have to constantly tell people what to do. Depending on their role, they can do different things, and you're just gonna have to constantly tell them to like break this down, stand at this wall, guard this wall, repair this wall. You're gonna have to be doing that because during the day, you don't need to have big groups of people at the walls, so you can use them to do other things. So like if you have a bunch of diggers, you don't have to have them constantly at the wall during the daytime because that's not really when most of the monsters come. So you can have them in your group, and then they'll be doing a bunch of things, but then you have to run back to the walls and make sure everyone's set at the walls during nighttime because you'll lose very quickly if you don't have enough people at your walls, because again the walls just break down so quick, so you have to have a lot of people guarding the walls, and when you lose you have to restart, and you just lose very quickly, and sometimes it feels unfair when you lose, so sometimes it just seems very unbalanced because the monsters just can easily break down your walls and kill your people pretty fast, or at least in my opinion it feels like that. There is only one map, so when you lose or when you win, you're going to be playing the same map over and over again, or same location, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to be surviving days, and the more days that you survive, the more rooms that you unlock, and the more rooms that you unlock, the more bonuses there are, and the bonuses they do they make little difference in my opinion, just very little difference on surviving the days. You need gears to build anything and food to light fires and send the cart back for more people. Overall, the gameplay can be fun, and it's fun to, you know, try to survive and stuff. It kind of reminds me of like a 2D like side-scrolling They Are Billions. Well, I guess They Are Billions is 2D, but it reminds me of like a side-scrolling They Are Billions mixed with Metro. But overall, the gameplay can be fun, but it just gets tedious with having to constantly run left and right and always running out of stamina and having to tell everyone what to do constantly and making sure that you spend your days doing everything that you need to, because if you make one tiny little mistake, or don't have enough people at your walls, or have too many people on the left side, not enough on the right side, you just get messed up and you lose very quickly. Kind of like They Are Billions, but I feel like They Are Billions, that game, is just more fun. The art style in Until We Die is amazing, in my opinion. It looks great. The 2D dark pixel art style with the great 2D lighting makes the game look very nice, and the graphics are probably my favorite part of this game. I don't know what it is, just something about the graphics. It's just, sometimes I just wanted to stay longer on the game just to look at the game, because the game looks good. In fact, I'm gonna be honest here, I'm gonna tell you guys a little secret. You ready for this? Are you listening? The main reason why I even checked this game out was because of the way that it looked. Until We Die has a short intro cinematic that has some story in it, which I'm not going to spoil anything, but there really isn't much of a story to this game other than that intro cinematic, which, don't get me wrong, that intro cinematic is cool. It's interesting, and it kind of reminds me of the Metro series, but there's not really much other than that intro cinematic, and that kind of leaves me disappointed. Overall, I would not recommend Until We Die because the game feels and is unfinished, but it's listed as a complete game. Also, when the game released, it didn't have a save system, so that's why it seems like it's even more unfinished than it is, because they released the game not in early access. I could possibly forgive them if they released it in early access, and maybe it would make sense, but this game is a full release. And when it fully released, like 2 weeks ago, it didn't even have a save system. They just now recently added it, and I actually had to change this review to include the save system because they just now added it. So if you were in the middle of the game and you exited the game, you would have to completely restart. But now there's a save system that just got added, so if you're it saves at the beginning of every day. So if you quit the game or something while you're in the middle of a session, it will put you back to the beginning of the day, and you'll just have to at most redo like half a day or something. But other than that, the save system is working. There's one location, there's two characters, with one being a better option. Ivan is just not a good option. Anna's the way better option, because Ivan's gun is terrible, Anna's shotgun is just way better. This game's also $17, so that's almost $20 for this game. It's $17, but you get one map, two characters, and that's about it. There is some replayability, but in my opinion, there's not as much replayability because, again, there's only one map in location, and you're just gonna be doing the same things over and over again on that same location. So it gets kind of boring and tedious, but I like the art style and the graphics. That's my favorite part. So, as you can probably tell, Until We Die gets a not recommended from me. Maybe if they give the game some updates, but it just seems like an early access, unfinished game, fully released at a full release price, and that is just unacceptable. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below telling me what you guys think about this game and this video, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because you want to be subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time.